Hi, I'm Lorna Illingsworth, an independent financial advisor for Protection Investments Southampton. Today we're going to talk about remortgaging for debt consolidation. In short, yes you can. Many homeowners release equity from their property when they remortgage and use those funds to clear unsecured debts like loans, credit cards or car finance. The lender will still assess your affordability, the value of your home and how much equity you have. But the mechanism itself is completely allowed and quite common. For some people, consolidating debt for a remortgage can make managing money much simpler. Having one payment instead of several can reduce stress, make budgeting easier, and avoid the risk of missing payments across different lenders. Your monthly mortgage repayment after consolidating could be lower than the combined repayments you were making previously. And because mortgage interest rates are usually lower than personal loan or credit card rates, this can look attractive at first glance. However, there is an important factor to consider. Mortgages typically run over a much longer term, so although the rate may be lower, you could end up paying more interest in total over the life of the mortgage. It's a balance between reducing short-term pressure and understanding the long-term cost. Most lenders require you to have owned your property for at least 6 months before applying to remortgage. This allows time for the land registry to update the records. There are exceptions, particularly if the property was inherited. You can begin the remortgage process up to 6 months before your existing fixed rate ends. Or if you're already on your lender's standard variable rate, you can apply anytime. If you're mortgage free, you can also take out a mortgage purely for consolidation, subject to affordability. Most lenders will allow you to borrow up to 85% of the property's value, with a small number offering even more. You can consolidate most types of unsecured debt: credit cards, personal loans, overdrafts, car finance, and even money owed to family members, as long as there is a formal written agreement that shows interest is being charged. However, if you're currently paying a 0% interest on a credit card, it usually won't make financial sense to roll that into your mortgage, because you'd be adding long-term interest to a debt that currently costs you nothing. The steps are very similar to a standard remortgage. We would source the most suitable lender, obtain a decision in principle, and arrange a valuation on the property. Then we move into the full application, and after the lender's underwriting checks are completed successfully, you receive a formal mortgage offer. From there, your solicitor finalises the remortgage and the funds are released so you can clear your other debts. It's still possible to remortgage with bad credit, but it can be more challenging. Missed payments, defaults, or county court judgments will affect how lenders view your application, and you may be offered a higher interest rate because the lender sees you as higher risk. Improving your credit score before applying can make a significant difference, so it's always worth checking your report before and addressing issues early if you can. It's important to look at the full picture. Although a mortgage rate can look very attractive compared to credit card or loan rates, spending that debt over a long mortgage term means the total cost of borrowing may be significantly higher. There's also a key risk you need to weigh carefully. Unsecured debts become secured against your home. If you're unable to keep up your repayments in the future, you could be at risk of repossession. Consolidating debt also reduces your equity in the property too, which may affect future plans like moving home or borrowing again later on. If your debts are relatively small, the fees involved in remortgaging can outweigh the benefits. It may also be unwise if you plan to take on new unsecured borrowing afterwards, which would only add to your financial pressures. Another issue is early repayment charges. If you are still within a fixed rate period on your existing mortgage, you may face an early repayment penalty to switch products. That can dramatically alter the cost effectiveness of consolidating. And finally, a higher loan-to-value ratio will usually mean higher interest rates and fewer lender options. So it's important to understand how consolidating impacts your long-term position. Instead of remortgaging, your existing lender might allow you to take a further advance. This creates a second separate loan with the same lender, often at a different interest rate, without touching your existing mortgage. Another option is a second charge mortgage with a different lender. This sits behind your main mortgage and can be useful if your current lender won't offer additional borrowing. Depending on your credit and income, personal loans or 0% credit card promotions may also be more appropriate in some cases. This is where independent advice really matters, because the best option depends entirely on your personal circumstances. Always look at the total cost over the full term, not just the monthly payment. Consider how increasing your mortgage impacts the equity in your home, your long-term flexibility, and the level of risk you're taking on by securing debt against your property. And importantly, make sure the solution you choose addresses the root cause of the debt. Consolidation can help, but only if it's part of a longer-term financial plan that avoids new borrowing afterwards. If you'd like to discuss debt consolidation, please call us on 02380 668 407 or visit our website.